We all use Wi-Fi pretty much every single day. But have you ever actually stopped to think about that little bit of magic that happens when you walk into a cafe and your phone just connects? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain and see how it really works.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You walk into a coffee shop, you pull out your phone, and boom, you're online. You haven't even ordered your coffee yet. There was no login, no password prompt. It just worked. So how in the world does your device get on that network so fast? Exactly. It just works. And can you imagine the chaos if it didn't? You'd have to, I don't know, manually find an available IP address and then type in a whole bunch of confusing numbers. It would be an absolute nightmare. Luckily, we're saved from all that by a little piece of networking genius. Yeah, this whole thing feels like a magic trick. But, like any really good trick, it's not actually magic. It's just a very clever, super fast, and really well-designed process. And we're going to break down exactly how it pulls it off.
Okay, so meet the star of our show, DHCP. That stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. This thing is the absolute unsung hero, the behind-the-scenes manager of your internet connection. It is the reason everything is so wonderfully automatic.
Now, to make sense of all this tech speak, let's use a simple analogy. I want you to think of your Wi-Fi router not as a blinking box, but as a super efficient, invisible waiter at a really, really busy restaurant. So, in this restaurant, you've got two main characters. First up, you have the hungry customer. That's your phone, and it's looking for a connection. And then you've got the helpful waiter. That's the Wi-Fi router, which is acting as our DHCP server. The entire conversation between your phone and the router, the customer and the waiter, it all happens in this lightning-fast four-step handshake. It's just a quick little chat to get you seated and ready to go. This is called the DORA process. Think of it as a four-part conversation. First, discover. Your phone basically shouts, "Hey, is anyone working here? I need a table." Then comes the offer. The router replies, "Yep, I've got table 192.168.1.10 available." Next is the request. Your phone says, "Perfect, I'll take it." And finally, acknowledge. The router confirms, "Awesome, that address is all yours. Welcome." Now here's the wild part, the reason it all feels like magic. This entire four-part chat, discover, offer, request, acknowledge, it all happens in the blink of an eye. And I mean that literally. We're talking milliseconds. Before you can even think about it, your device is connected. But there's a really fascinating twist to this story. That IP address your device just got, well, it doesn't get to keep it forever. And this is where our little restaurant analogy gets even more interesting. This is what we call an IP lease. I mean, think about it. When you go to a restaurant, you don't own the table, right? You're just borrowing it for your meal. It's the exact same idea here. Your device is only borrowing that IP address for a certain amount of time. So how long does it get to borrow it for? Well, it can vary, but a really common lease time is 24 hours. After that time is up, your device might renew the lease if it's still around, or that address goes right back into the pool for the next customer that walks in.
And that is where the D for dynamic in DHCP comes from. The whole system is dynamic. It's always changing, always reassigning these addresses, which is just incredibly efficient. It lets a limited number of IP addresses serve tons of different devices that connect and disconnect all day long.
So when you put it all together, DHCP is basically this invisible, tireless networker. It's managing the entire address book for the network, making sure no two devices get the same number, and making sure everything just works without you ever having to think about it. So the next time your phone just snaps onto a Wi-Fi network, take a second to remember that invisible waiter working inside the router. Go ahead and thank the DHCP server that's working hard to make sure everyone gets a seat at the digital table. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible waiters are out there, working silently in the background to power all the technology that we rely on every single day? It's something to think about.